Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to today's pre-match press conference ahead of our game against the New York Red Bulls. We have defender Kevin O'Toole. If we have any questions, please raise your hand. Get started in the room with Sean.
Sean Sacalala Magazine. Kevin, tough game. How, as a team and individually yourself, do you sort of regroup from what happened in your most recent game and gear up for a very important game for both sides and a derby game coming up tomorrow?
Yeah, obviously not the result we were looking for on Wednesday night. I think the important thing is that we leave it in the past now, and it's a quick turnaround to this game. So we can't have any hangover from the performance and the result. We just gotta move on and focus ahead. And I think it's always easier when it's a short turnaround to let the last game go and really focus ahead and try to put out a strong performance against our biggest rival.
Roberto?
So the team has made a huge turnaround as far as their away games. I believe, if I'm not incorrect, you're undefeated in your last 5 away games, 4 wins and a tie. What changed mentally or what changed tactically that has allowed the team to thrive on the road?
Yeah, I think it was just about finding our form really consistently. I think over that period was when we went away in July and we got some good road performances out of the group. And so I think once we were able to do it and kind of get over that hump, I think the task seemed, more tangible and there was a belief in the group that we can go to any place in the league and win these games. And so I think, tomorrow's going to be no different. We found that road form, like you said, and we've also found the ability to win from situations where we go down a goal. And so I think both of those things have really propelled us at the end of this season, and we'll continue to try to perform that way.
What could you guys learn from what happened on Wednesday that you can apply on Saturday?
I think playing our style and not allowing the opponent to dictate the terms. I think obviously we have left chances on the table in that game, and I think against a team as strong as Miami, we need to convert those and be more clinical and kind of put the pressure on them. But I also think just being more aggressive and asserting our style on our opponent versus letting our opponent dictate those terms, I think is something that we'll look to adapt and get back to in this game.
This is your fourth game in 14 days. What is that?
Fifth.
Huh?
Fifth.
The fifth game in 14. Okay, so there we go. Thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate that. How's the team holding up physically? I mean, that's a lot of games.
Yeah, I mean, we're doing well. Obviously, it's a lot of games in a short amount of time, but I think the preseason that Pascal put us through and the training sessions in the beginning of the season when we were just weekend games has prepared us for these moments. I think one of our strengths is in our fitness levels and our capacity. And I think you saw last week in Charlotte when we were, after 2 tough games, one on the road, one at home, Wednesday night, we were able to gut out that result and put in a decent performance. And we're ready for the challenge, and we're excited for it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Onto the Zoom, we'll go with Justin.
Thank you so much, Kevin. Thanks for the time. Justin Ruderman with MLS Soccer. I have a couple for you. First, just the New York Red Bulls have the longest postseason streak in men's North American professional sports right now at 15 seasons. This is basically a must-win for them if they want to keep that streak going. Does that give a little bit extra motivation or added incentive to say we could maybe kind of end that streak for them?
I mean, yeah, I think so. Like of course it's our biggest rival, and they've had quite the playoff streak, and their backs are up against the wall, and so I think that's an added element, but it's also more importantly for us, it's important that we secure as high a position as high up the table as we possibly can, and whichever team is standing in our way, our mission is going to be focusing on ourselves and ensuring that we have a really strong finish to the season leading into playoffs.
That leads me perfectly into my next question, which is you guys are on the brink of that top 4 finish. What would that mean for New York City to get that home field advantage in the first round of the playoffs?
Yeah, it'd be huge. It'd be huge. We were just discussing that our away form has picked up really nicely, but the more home games you can stack up in the playoffs, the better your odds are. And so, our sights are set on that top 4 finish, and especially just bringing momentum into the playoffs is going to be really important. So I think just like we responded after DC, we're going to have to find the same energy and and performance coming out of the Miami game and make sure that that game is put to rest in the right way.
Last one for me. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe you're from New Jersey. We're in the Red Bulls Academy. Now you play for New York. Does this have a little bit extra meaning for you as an individual?
Yeah, I mean, it always has this game. You know, it used to be in 2022, 2023. I had some former teammates across on the other sideline, and I think that's less true today. But I think that the game always lights a spark under me, and so I'll have, yeah, I always carry a little extra motivation going into it.
Thank you so much and good luck.
Thank you.
Oliver?
Hi, thank you. This is Oliver Strand with Hudson River Blue. So Wednesday's loss to Inter Miami was the biggest of the season. One of the defining traits of a team is how they bounce back from a loss like that. I'm wondering, what has Coach Pascal Janssen, what has he told you? What is he trying to get you to do? How is he directing the team to rebound from that loss ahead of tomorrow's game?
Yeah, I mean, I think, there wasn't a whole lot of sugarcoating. Like the loss was very disappointing, especially for the form that we found ourselves in going into the match. But there's also at the same time not a whole lot of room for dwelling on a poor result because the next match is just 72 hours away. So that was the focus. I think, the group has reorganized and refocused its mentality on just attacking this game this weekend and making sure we get the result that we want.
Chris?
Hey Kevin, Chris Kimmer from the outfield. Just curious, how you're feeling physically. You've played over 330 minutes in the last 2 weeks. How does the this compacted schedule at this part of the season, impact you from a physiological standpoint? Thanks.
Yeah, no, I feel good. Obviously a lot of minutes in the tank over the last couple weeks, but we have the benefit of having a lot of these matches being played in our area. The last few have been at home, and so it's limited the travel, which is always difficult when you stack midweek games on top of it. So we've been fortunate to have this stretch be at home, barring the Chicago game. And yeah, I'll be ready to go tomorrow for whatever the game demands.
Glenn?
Hey, Kevin. To
Yep.
go back to the Miami game and where you said letting them dictate the terms. I wonder, is there any level of too much respect that you have going into that game? I mean, you can't hide the fact that Messi, number one, but many of these others are global figures. Everyone's heard of them. Everyone's watched them. Most everyone's watched them play during the course of time. Was there any of that, do you think?
I think it's possible. I think just more so one of the things we addressed at halftime was our structure, and they were obviously throwing a lot of numbers up the field, and so it caused our me and Tavon and some of our midfielders to be pinned back to an extent because they would throw Jordi Alba on or have guys sit in the pockets, and so it just kind of forced us on our heels a little bit. And I think the halftime conversation was about how do we get out of that defensive structure and apply more pressure. So I think I mean, a little bit of both. Like to their credit, they did a good job of keeping us kind of on our heels and playing a little bit from the counter in the first half. But in the same vein, I think yeah, we need to perhaps not give them less respect, but just kind of be more aggressive and play to our strengths, which is being a pressing team and being aggressive up the field.
And then one other, the quote unquote away match at Sports Illustrated Stadium, the former Red Bull Arena, where you and your teammates have played many home games
Right.
over the years as well. So when you go there to play, and last year it was very successful as well, what level of comfort do you have just hanging out at Harrison, New Jersey?
Yeah, I mean, we are comfortable there. I think our results there over the last couple of years have been pretty solid. So I wouldn't say home comforts, but I would say we're all very used to that environment, and yeah, we're gonna be ready to go. It's always a really exciting matchup against this team, and yeah, everyone's gonna have a huge motivation to get the result and set things on the right track again.
Okay, thanks, Matt.
Cool, thank you.
Final one, Christian?
Hi, Kevin. You've had some really good moments with the team in these derby games. Actually, not even just with the team. I think you got a hat trick for Princeton against Harvard. a couple of years ago as well there. And an assist. I'll give you the full credit, the assist as well, I think. In terms of the intangibles that we associate with these rivalry games, how has your own process kind of evolved from maybe when you were much younger to where you sit now as an experienced pro?
Yeah, I think, the big games always kind of resonate a little bit differently. I think one of the messages that we try to have during the regular season is that there are no big games. Every game, there's 3 points on the line. And so each game you have to approach with the same mentality. But of course, there's certain rivalries or big matchups that you kind of get yourself up for. And so I think it's just about harnessing that emotion in the right way and going about my business, not changing too much in the routine leading up to it. That'll, influence the performance in any way. It's just when you step out on that field, there's something about a rivalry that gives you that little extra motivation. So I think that'll be there for all the guys tomorrow and it should be on full display.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thanks.
Great. Thank you, everybody.